are talking The Clearing. This one is directed and written by David Matalon and stars Liam McIntyre, one-time Spartacus. So this is a zombie film centred in and around mainly a Winnebago, a kind of caravan, I guess you would say. Mobile home sort of thing, I guess. And what we have here, the setup is we have this father, played by Liam McIntyre, who is struggling to connect with his 10-year-old daughter. And his mother is determined for them to try and bond a little bit. So she sort of decrees that they have to go on this kind of bonding weekend out in the woods to try and, you know, maybe improve their relationship ultimately. However, this relationship is put to the test when there seems to be a zombie apocalypse that hits, and all of these zombies kind of come out of nowhere, and we see Liam McIntyre's character essentially trapped within this caravan, whilst his daughter seems to be lurking around in the woods as they get separated at the beginning of the movie. What will happen? You have to watch the movie to find out. So first of all, what works? I want to talk about the zombies first of all, because there's good and bad things here. First of all, it seems they've tried to do something a little bit original in regards to the zombies here, because you don't appear to get turned by bites exactly. Zombies seem to explode all these worms all over you, and I'm assuming that is what ultimately turns you. If you've ever seen the TV show The Strain, it's a little bit like that. But I say assume that because it's never really established what actually happens. You know, they've had these zombies, and there appears to be this very fundamental difference. I mean, the zombies will eat and kill you, but I don't think it doesn't appear that the bites turn you. But unfortunately, we have to do a little bit of guesswork here, because the movie doesn't really make it clear why they've introduced this difference, only to do very little with it. And we don't even, it's not really even established if that is actually what changes them, or if it is bites. We just have to kind of guess. It seems like a bit of a big oversight for me. I wonder if there is scenes that are missing that maybe would have established that, but it seems an odd choice to introduce something, but not have any context for it. So the zombies are interesting because they have that dimension, but as I say, it's a missed opportunity as well. I actually thought Liam McIntyre did a pretty good job here. I actually quite liked him, and I actually quite like the little girl as well. And you do genuinely feel, I mean, he comes across, Liam McIntyre is an Australian actor, and, you know, Australians have that kind of the stereotype of being, you know, the blokey bloke, and he definitely comes across like that. You know, he doesn't really want to spend time with his daughter. He doesn't really know how to connect with her and stuff like that. And, you know, you get the impression he's very much an alpha male who wishes he had a male son, but then the daughter as well, as obviously reacts to that. But as the film progresses, I really enjoyed their relationship, and you do see obviously the connection kind of strengthen obviously when put to the test here with the various struggles that they'll overcome. So I enjoyed that, and there are a few decent set pieces, despite this movie could have been 90% really centered in and around this Winnebago. Nonetheless, there are a couple of set pieces that I think, you know, are pretty good regardless of the fact this is more or less just one location kind of movie. There's a reasonable amount of gore here, and obviously plenty of brain smacking action to please zombie fans. Okay, so what else? You know, we've mentioned kind of a missed opportunity with the zombies themselves in regards to there just seems to be no context about how it started, why they shoot worms, if that's the way they multiply, things like that. So that is a criticism. What else? Considering when they be in this fairly remote camping park, there seems to be a hell of a lot of zombies coming out of nowhere. Now, it is established that there is other campers in the area, but nonetheless, there's like loads. I mean, I just can't imagine this particular area in this out in the middle of nowhere is that populated. You know, I would imagine in most zombie kind of media, they'll tend to gravitate towards the towns and stuff. That's obviously where the most sort of hustle and bustle is. So there was that. There's also a few gaps in logic. We established that the mobile phone network is still operating because he tries to phone his daughter, only to discover that, you know, the daughter's left the phone in the Winnebago. But he doesn't try to phone his wife. He doesn't try to phone the police or anything like that. It's just a kind of like left. And again, I feel this movie has been maybe edited in a certain way where there's certain scenes that would have made more sense, but it's not there, unfortunately. And unfortunately, the movie does suffer a little bit from a lack of scope, and this may be down to budgetary constraints, but you know, like I've said, there is a reasonable amount of gore here. I think it would have benefited from having a few more scenes in the woods, maybe, because you kind of just want him to get out of this truck, and we get this kind of another kind of unaffected character kind of enter the story at one point, and again, it's very ill-established about who this guy is, and there's a hint given, but again, it's just not enough is done with it. And ultimately, I felt considering what's going on, I'm going to try and avoid spoilers here, considering there's a zombie apocalypse going on, what happens between Liam McIntyre's character and this other character, it didn't seem to make a hell of a lot of sense considering what was going on. They seem to have bigger problems. Let me just kind of put it like this. So overall, I think this movie is effective on certain technical levels. Like I've said, I think the set pieces for a small kind of like scale movie are pretty good. The zombie makeup's pretty good. The gore is well done, and it has some interesting elements in regards to maybe what these zombies they can do, despite the fact that it's way under established. And Liam McIntyre and the daughter is good, but the story here is really lacking, unfortunately, both in scope and ambition, but also some real kind of like seemingly very obvious oversights as well, which really do take the film down in my estimation to a certain degree. But there's still enough here, I think, for it to be classed as an average film, so I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.